There it is, not only back on the flat today, but back over 200 kilometres, 208.5 to be precise, setting out from Montélimar and heading due north into a headwind for most of the day. The break will have its work cut out because of that, and also because it's one of the few remaining chances for the sprinters.
That's Vicioso down there from the helicopter off the back of the race as we're looking down. The riders dropping off group by group now. So the wind did get in there. I didn't see that corner. I was really building you up for. The right-hand one is next because we're inside the 4-kilometre mark.
Well, I did notice a rider.
Look at that now. These boys are just going to ride home now as the pressure's gone on by what's left of the strong men of the sprinters teams. It's a time for a shake of hands. 3 kilometres to go. 33 kilometres is all they haven't spent in the head of this race today.
And how tough is that, Phil? When you see the little handshake, they are caught within 5 minutes from the end at the end of a 5-hour race.
But now it's eyes down for the sprint kings of the Tour de France. The players or the teammates now setting the pace. There's the right-hand sweeper. Katusha really have confidence now in Alexander Kristoff. They've got 4 riders up there, and Bosenhagen is up there as well for dimension data for Cavendish.
Yeah, but not far away. There's the 3 kilometres to go, Bennett. No more corners. It's pretty much a straight run into the finish line now, and Team Katusha are taking control of the peloton over on the right-hand side. But just look behind them, a little bit further back, the black and blue jerseys. They're all communicating Ethics Quick-Step. They're waiting to get their lead-out train organised, but waiting till the final few kilometres.
Mark Cavendish is in there as well, near Bosenhagen, his teammate in a different coloured jersey, is champion of Norway. The black jerseys, they're looking to try and take Brian Cockar on the left of our picture. There's a lot of movement now. Riders are off the road here. Well, they've got back on it, but look at all the places. I wasn't sure whether it was or not.
It was because he's wearing the green jersey and the grey shorts. He's gone to the fashion police this afternoon.
Well, it looks like he's still there to me, Paul.
There you go. I'll agree with you on this one.
Well, thank you.
But it looked so much like him because of the grey shorts, but certainly it's very difficult to catch out Mr. Sagan.
Well, I would have thought he'd put him on the grass, he'd come off ahead of the race. He's that good riding a bike. But the wind is hurting all of the riders here. Just being tailed off the back is Wilco Kelderman. He'll lose time. He was amongst the overall boys for a top 10 finish in Paris. A lot of concern there now. Ethics getting control of the race, though, for Marcel Kittel.
Well, this is one, I would think, probably the best lead-out train. We talked about them a couple of days ago, how well organised they were. Once they get up to about 3 kilometres to go, we'll start to see the real serious line-out as we're now inside of 1.7 kilometres. It won't be very long now before we start to see coming to the front Tony Martin. There he is in second position, Phil, just waiting for the moment to wind it up. He knows exactly what he wants to do. And once Tony Martin has done his long term, then they'll throw it over to Maximiliano Ricchesi, who in person is a very good sprinter in his own right. And the last man, hopefully, if everything works out well for Ethics Quick-Step, it will be Fabio Sabatini to do the final lead-out. But now Lotto takes control on the left.
And they've washed away Kittel, who's on the last blue rider on the right there, and he's lost a lot of space as they come to 1 kilometre. Now Lotto, we've seen nothing of them all day. They've kept their powder dry. The man in the white jersey on the centre left is Greipel. Remember, he's 34 years old today as he tries to follow his team to the line. Greipel, Coccar's gone through on the far right as well in that black jersey as they now, and Cavendish not in sight yet. Greipel waiting, taking the back wheel of Coccar, and right on Greipel's wheel is Kristoff. Kristoff beginning to look rather good here at the moment, and the final push here by Sabatini for the rider from Kittel, trying to get through. He's in a perfect position now, Marcel Kittel. I think, in fact, Kristoff is losing ground. Cavendish holding third wheel as they line up. It is Kittel leading out Mark Cavendish as they grit their teeth together. Cavendish has seen the finish. The missile is on course, but look at Peter Sagan coming through. Mark Cavendish has just got his 4th win of the Tour de France in this race and his 30th in history.
Well, that was pretty aggressive as they came up to the line. There was a few changes of direction. I think it was a fairly regular sprint, though, but Marcel Kittel put his hand up to complain about the movement from Mark Cavendish. I think that was just general moving in the main field, but obviously, Phil, as we look at that, these are all the top men. That's Cavendish there, Kittel with his hand up, and Peter Sagan throws for the line. And in the other white jersey, nice. John Degenkolb. Nice to see him back.
How nice was that?
Hey, nice one. Nice one. Again.
Well, just take a look at this here. That's Kittel going for the line. Cavendish breaks over him. Now, when the camera caught, Cavendish moved, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, difficult to say. Obviously, Marcel Kittel not happy with that. Cavendish moves slightly to the middle, then back over to the right-hand side, and he's got 4 fingers up there for 4 victories. But really nice to see getting up there, John Degenkolb. Just a quick look there. I think John Degenkolb got up there in 4th or 5th position, and it's nice to see him back. When you know the story behind his performance, being knocked off, almost losing a finger, almost losing his life in a very nasty accident at a training camp in the southern part of Spain in the early part of the year.
Still, the prospect of a protest held things up behind the podium for Mark Cavendish. The winner's interview began and was then cut short, while behind the Ethics Quick-Step team bus, Marcel Kittel was giving a politely dissenting interview of his own.
First of all, I want to say that my team did a really good job, leading me out, bringing me to the final, controlling the race. I'm very proud of that. We had a good talk about it yesterday, so that's something that is also really important for me. Unfortunately, we didn't get the result that we wanted. It was one of the last sprints now, and yeah, the final was... I started my sprint at, I think, 250, 220 something, on the bottom of that little right-hand turn. Once I was in front, I saw Cavendish coming by, and he, as soon as he passed me, he went to the right. I had to brake to avoid a crash, and that was it.
Does that move cost you a win?
That move definitely influenced the result of today, and yeah, it's not up to me to decide, you know, what should happen now. But yeah, of course, I'm very disappointed.
Do you think it was a fair sprint by Cavendish?
I think he can clearly do better than that.
Well expressed, but it seemed to be a minority opinion, while the Tour's Supreme Court justices were unanimous.
We have seen the images from helicopter and also the images from the front, so we really didn't see nothing special. So sprint is regular.
So the news was broken, a smile was cracked, Mark Cavendish headed for the rear steps of the podium, and we had an official result, which was the same as the one everybody had seen. Cavendish-Christoph Sagan was the 1-2-3. Good to see John Degenkolb contesting a sprint after his injury problems this season. Kittel was 5th after swerving and complaining. Then it was Greipel, Coquard, Chimolai, Laporte and Sami Dumoulin. Here's how it unfolded according to the winner.
We knew we had to be there. It went narrow, or narrower, even narrower from like 6k to go, and we had to be at the front in a narrow section. It was a little bit crosswind there, and Bernie Eisel, the guys, you see them riding the last 40k to keep us there, with Daniel Teglerheimer and Serge Pals. That was after Nat and I was riding the whole day, and then Bernie kept us there for that narrow road, and it was about jumping the train to the end. Actually, Reinhard Jans van Rensburg, he's not very experienced. He needs Bernie to guide him there, because Bernie done an earlier job. Ryan actually, he messed up for us. He started out nice on Kittel, and he brought the other trains past, and I thought, this is it, like it's finished. I followed Kittel, Edvald stayed there, made sure I was there. We got through, and then obviously I seen them hit out quite early, quick steps. I knew Kittel would be left on the front quite soon into this headwind, so I just had to wait, let him die, and then come round him, jump round him, and then obviously it's bearing to the right. He's kicked off a little bit, but I was way past him, like, so I don't think there's anything wrong. I think he's just frustrated. I won for he hasn't. So.
Yep, number 4/30 for Mark Cavendish, depending on whether you're looking at this Tour or his Tour career. And the first day off for the general classification riders since the actual rest day. No change at all in the top 10. which means another day in the yellow jersey for Chris Froome tomorrow, and he's already thinking about tomorrow, which is the race back in the mountains.
I think it has been underestimated. I think it quietly, I mean, it could be a stage that really does creep up on people if they're not ready for it. Over 4,000 meters of climbing, it's going to be a big day. Not necessarily a summit finish, but we could still see some big moves from the GC teams.
And possibly from Adam Yates, still leading the Best Young Rider competition and still third overall.
We've still got a tough week to go. There's a couple of real solid mountain stages, and there's also another TT. So, yeah, we're going to fight every day, and whatever happens. If I lose some minutes, then I lose some minutes. There's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, we'll fight it for every second, and yeah, we'll see what happens in Paris.
Well, one thing that's going to happen, it looks like, is the familiar sight of Mark Cavendish contesting the Tour's most prestigious sprint.
Yeah, it's Nelson Mandela Day Monday. Yeah. The team won last year with Steve on Nelson Mandela Day, and actually, it's a finish that it's not a straightforward sprint like today. Definitely with the form I'm in, I can do well, and we got the opportunities of Edvald as well. So we'll be looking to that in a couple of days. We've got to get through tomorrow first.
And then there's Paris, and that looms big. That's your stage. You must feel.
Oh yeah. I've missed it the last few years, like winning there. I know I've got confidence for that now. The teams have confidence, and it'd be a great way to cap off this tour.